Hello to my first book review of 2023. You're an Long Way Down by Jason Reynolds. This book is about a young man named Will who heard the bullet slice the air and saw later how his brother Sean was killed. He sees the violence and begins to follow the rules. Unfortunately, these rules need to be updated because the rules can cause trouble. And after all, they are for the broken to follow, which means they are unstable in their nature. Trouble where our character gets angry, so he is about to do something he will want to forget and regret forever, as it can become really not so good. He gets on the elevator and something happens that will change Will's world. The ending is so debated as to what his character arc will result in. You have to deliberately debate and think what is going to happen to what Will is going to do. He's such an interesting character that we want to know what his next move is, which is a good way to conclude the story. You can speculate all you want. That's a very powerful technique in writing that makes your reader engaged, makes your reader like, wow, what did I just read? And I want to share how amazing the writing is. It's pretty simple way to engage your readers. Just saying, right? But this story is about avoiding gun violence, as the characters in the elevator share their deaths and stories with Will. So we are dealing with a ghost story, yeah. And man, there is so much to talk about in this novel, which is written in verse, using incredible storytelling through poetry. The stanzas even feature their art by how the words look. I mean, the font being bolder and increased in size, and are arranged by the spacing, which is interesting, how you can manipulate and make an interesting interpretation of how this person is thinking and everything. It's interesting, very interesting. This novel has received the title of a Newbery Honor Book and Prince Honor Book awards. I'm amazed it won the Best Young Adult Work at the Mystery Writers of America's Edgar Awards. So it is a very important book. And I read it for a book club at my local library. That's really cool. That's why I'm actually getting to review this book. I had a lot of notes and it's amazing. The themes and ideas are very interesting and saddening, yet they are the main message of this book. Here are the important things to discuss regarding the loss of innocence due to violence, how Will's mother calls the nighttime, and how it can be like really bad and how it can symbolize our demons that we are fighting with, that we're grappling with, as death can cause interesting ripple of emotions to occur. Either you're mourning or you want to change something about, if it's regarding murder. So, this is not a very nice subject to talk about online, so that's why it's controversial. The story is about trust, as Will confronts his problems head on and receives advice from fellow people he knows or has heard from his life. The emotional loss of his brother shows the power of love and grief. The character has to deal with uncertainty and feeling fine and fine feeling that emotion, as he can't control death and cannot divulge in revenge. This story shows a confused young man that sees victims of gun violence, and for him to see the situation from another angle, to help him educate on what his actions are going to do. That's my biggest takeaway, because you do not want to end up doing something that's going to mess up your life and mess up other people's lives, you know. It's already bad as it is. But anyway, so the character has to deal with so much more, like with death, and that's very put in this book a lot. Surprise in terms of plot twists. So if you want a happier story, you can read something like Frankly in Love by David Yoon, a romantic comedy that will make you grin for the main character, who is a nerd at everything, except maybe not love. That's going to be my next book review on this channel, so stay tuned. I'm working on the book, reading a lot of other fun books, but that's my main book that I want to read and explore and talk about. My only criticism is that I would love to see more dynamics between Will and his brother Sean, and the family dynamics of Will and Sean's families. Oh man, trying to rant. It's interesting because you have to organize your thoughts. Sometimes you go off course. Anyway, nevertheless, this book is good for contemplating controversial subjects and so much more that I haven't included in this video, but if you've read it, you can talk in the comments. Thank you for that. Anyway, I would say this is a similar novel to the novella A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. No. Okay, it's similar to a story that Charles Dickens wrote about Scrooge in The Christmas Carol, I believe. I know that it's like a novella or a very short story, but it's a very good short story that you should read, and I've read it, so it's amazing. The fact of the day. So, author Jason Reynolds began his writing career by finding inspiration in rap to begin writing poetry, which is a dedication to his craft because he's made amazing, important art in form of poetry, of course. He has written 15 books, I think, and has co-written with others too. I recommend this novel for teens, people interested in learning about new perspectives, books about ghosts, or the perfect book that would be great to read on Black History Month. The writing is realistic, and the poetry full of imagery and figurative language that you will love to soak in. Or you might feel it strong because it's a strong feeling novel. Because the writing is so in the moment powerful. And that's what poetry does. It's powerful. If you would like what I'm describing to you, this book could be for you. I don't have it, but here. Here's a picture. Well, will you read this book or any book for that matter? This is Will You Read, over and out. Thank you for watching. Bye.